Howdy, I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave.
And welcome to today's live mastermind. So with that said, today's topic for you is how to promote your eBay listings. And what we're going to be doing today is that we're going to be doing quite a quick fire round. Well, we'll try and keep it quick fire as best we can. And we're going to take it in turns to go through 10, maybe 15 different topics for you to be able to help promote your eBay listings. Now, do keep in the back of your mind that most of these will also be applicable to Amazon to some shape or form, and also your website too. So rather than doing a chit chat at the beginning, let's just jump straight in with the first one. You'll see me looking over here on the other screen. And number one, you can gain exposure for your eBay listings through optimization on or off eBay. Okay, so we may be pointing out something daft here. However, if you're doing an off eBay promotion, okay, then your time, effort, and energy and money is better spent on your website. Now, Dave, that sounds a little bit contradictory to the title of today's mastermind, which is how to promote your eBay listings, but we want to keep this very practical. And I've seen people do this. They've paid for AdWords and things like that to promote their eBay store, when in reality, that's what eBay should be doing for you. That's what your 15% and whatever my PayPal cuts out. Well, PayPal we would take separate now, but whatever you're paying eBay is basically a marketing fee. So you're not going to pay another like 5, maybe 10% on top again just to promote your eBay store. So we're starting off with a very, very practical and a very poignant one, is that if you are going to do off eBay marketing to promote your business, okay, then your time, effort, energy, and money is better spent promoting your own website, where you're going to gain a much better return on investment on that, not relying upon eBay or Amazon, as the case may be, to promote your listings for you, and you double promote. Does that make sense, Dave?
It does, and this reminds me of a talk I did a few weeks ago at the Manchester Online Seller Meetup. And I did this whole talk for about half an hour on content creation and driving traffic to your website and sort of playing the long game and all that sort of stuff. And at the end, a chap came up to me and went, "That's all well and good, but our website's terrible. So can I not just direct traffic to our eBay listing?" And I was just like, "You're missing the point." You're missing the point. The whole point of this is to build your own little corner of the web which no one else can touch. And, you build that, you'll own the relationship. So, yeah, absolutely. If you are going to spend time promoting eBay and you're going to do it off eBay, you may as well just be promoting your own website, ultimately, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we said, these are going to be quite quick and also poignant ones as well. And we both felt that that would be a very prudent one for us to start with. So, Dave, what else do we have on the list?
So, going on to sort of point 2, and it's common sense. It's common sense. The most surefire way to help promote your listing on eBay is to have a good title and high quality images. You don't get a better promotion than that, as those are the 2 key things which any eBay customer is going to see before clicking on to your listing. It's a good title and it's a good image. Have both of them combined. Use your 80 characters and have high quality images. Don't just steal ones from the internet that have got crap written all over them, or that are like 500 pixels by 500 pixels. Go the extra mile, take good quality images, use a keyword tool, make sure your title is readable in English, don't spam, but utilize that, your character length, utilize keywords. And I want to stress the point here as well, is that if you think about how a customer, and we've covered these steps previously, is that these 2 points are, again, poignant because they are the biggest impactors to your items being found, is that when somebody does a search on eBay, they're typing in what they're looking for. So your title is categorically one of the most important assets you have to your actual eBay listing itself. That's only second
to the image, because the second someone's typed in, and I was doing a search here literally just a few moments ago, new BMW X5 E70 exhaust, because I'm after the little tips. I need to add tip to the end. Okay, so we need to get the keywords right. Okay, but then the second we're into the search results, I'm not reading the titles. I'm scrolling down the page looking for what I'm looking for, which is some rounded exhaust tips to go on the back of a BMW X5. Okay, so title and images are just those things which shouldn't be skimped over. And again, we're going to mention variation listings in a few minutes' time, but also, if you do have a variation listing, it's vitally important, especially when color is an option. So you think about a dress which comes in multiple colors, maybe flora, coral, whatever colors it comes in, is that you have multiple images which have been assigned to those variations, so that, because eBay will switch to colors. You do that in, if you've never been in the fashion category on eBay before, go and do it right now while we're having a chit chat with you. Literally just go across to eBay, just type it up, maybe just like type in pink dress. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I'm going to go to eBay, type in pink dress, and I'll probably get remarketed with pink dresses all day long.
I'm glad it's you for a change.
Yeah, exactly. And then the thing is that the items which have been returned is that some of them may not actually be pink. Okay, some of them may be available in other colors. We're just seeing the pink ones which are being returned, okay? Because eBay has known that I've typed in pink and has switched the image accordingly. And of course, again, just like I said, if you've never done any research into like how this works, it's very simple. You want to go into women's clothing and then the dresses category. Just do a little search around, get used to a couple of listings, and then look within that category, search for dress and then a color, and watch the whole page change. But you should start recognizing a couple of the listings because they're being repeated, but with the different images on the tops and the colors changing on them. So eBay did get that nailed a couple of years back. And let's feed this back to where we started, which was Dave's point, which was title, keyword research, and images, as in plural. Don't just stop at one image. If you have a variation product, multiple images, again, assigned to the different variations which you have. Cool beans. Sorry, Dave.
Cool.
That one.
Yeah.
Number 3, and again, we are using our notes here to keep us on track. Use keywords in your title that show up for your product. Now, this sounds really daft. Sometimes you look at a couple of eBay listings. I've seen a few lately, looking for some electronics goods. You're like, what? That's not even what it is. You know, and it's one thing ramming the title full of keywords. The other one is actually making it human readable and actually applicable to the product. Okay, go and have a look in some of the electronics categories. Right? They're especially in the electronic components categories, which is another pet project area of mine. Is that it's just terrible, really bad, almost unreadable in some cases, because it's just like keyword, keyword, keyword. It makes absolutely no sense at all. So when you are making your titles, make sure that the keywords which you're using are actually applicable to your product and they are human readable. So so for example, I'm here, well, like I said a few moments ago, looking for the new BMW X5 exhaust. There's no point you put in not BMW and it's a different exhaust type for a different car, for example, because you're going to turn up in those results and I'm just going to skip over it. And ultimately, eBay's smart enough now. There was Dave, only literally, was it yesterday it went out on eSeller Cafe about eBay actually saying they manipulate the results?
Yes.
This is the first time. And again, this was in Israel, but it's all based off the same Cassini search engine. It's a whole different ballpark conversation, but we have known for a very long time that eBay manipulate the searches. Okay, it's something which they've said that they do over time. Okay, but they've never done it for specific. They've never admitted it for specific reasons, which was it arbitrage for
arbitrage? Yeah, and it's one of those things where they are stating that, or so far from what I've gathered in what has been said, there's not much of it at the minute, but it seems to be that they are throttling listings, not throttling sellers. So again,
So if there's 1.1 billion listings on eBay and they are able to pick out a specific listing and throttle it, that gives you an indication on the granular level of control which they have. And that stresses the importance for getting the whole, not only these little tips which we're talking about here, and there's going to be no magic bullet for you. Okay, it's a combination of all of these things combined together, which will have the big impact for you. And it's getting everything right, because it's all additive. There isn't like just do this one thing and magic will happen. It's actually magic happens when you do everything together really well. Sorry, Dave, I've gone off on a slight tangent there.
Yeah, no worries at all. Bringing it back on to sort of point 4, I think we're on now. Matt hinted at this just a minute ago. It's images, not an image. It's not just having one good image, it's having lots of images from multiple angles in high resolution. Bearing in mind scale, that's still one which a lot of people don't do, especially if they're doing things, which may be handmade or something. If you get an idea of scale, I've got nothing. So again, like a 50 pence piece, most people know how big a 50p is. So just stick that in the picture, and all of a sudden you now have scale. eBay give you 12 images for free. Why not use them? It's one of those things. The only reason why you wouldn't use them is laziness, ultimately. And that is the problem. Again, in a few weeks' time, me and Matt will be doing another product research webinar. And I guarantee we will see lazy listings. We see it every time we do it. And that's where there's always opportunity.
Yeah, and Dave, I think I'm assuming the role of the person which is going off tangent here. But trying to add this extra dimension in is that I know from the people who I've spoken to over a very long period of time, 10 years plus, is that they've always wanted to sell more on eBay. And that's the thing, is that, and in the marketplaces as a whole. And the thing is that when you do look through eBay specifically, as a whole, there is literally just so much money wasted in listings because people just don't bother or can't be bothered to fill out the information. And that's the thing, is that if you want a competitive advantage for you and your business, is that you need to do the stuff which your competitors just can't be bothered to do. They probably know what they need to be doing. They just don't. They give that old chestnut of excuse, I don't have time. And this is where obviously you're much smarter, and you've maybe listened to us talk about the outsourcing and becoming more productive with what you're doing, and you know about these other things and are implementing it within your business. So Dave has used the word laziness. Other business owners will say, I don't have time, whereas you have the knowledge and for everything which we've been discussed either here in a mastermind, which we do every Tuesday, by the way, if you're new here, or you've followed one of the tutorials along over on UnderstandingE.com as well. So the information's there, it just needs to be actioned upon.
Yeah, and I think, again, just thinking out loud, Matt, about a seller that we both know very well, used to dominate eBay, now dominate Instagram and social media. I remember going around to their new offices, and I was like, "Oh right, what's this?" And it's like, "Oh, we've built our own custom photography room with light boxes." And that was the level of someone who knew the value of taking good images and doing good listings. Not someone who just grabbed something from Google Images and threw it up and went, "That's about right." Took fantastic images, and that's how he won. And he was big. He was a big deal. Still is, but like he's gone after social now, and he's smashing that as well. So, good images.
eBay's more of a what? Oh, yes. That's how we got started.
They're making more money now doing the Instagram stuff. No fees. So, Matt, point number 5.
Point number 5. Right. So again, I'm going to need to get myself back on topic. So we was mentioning about the additional images. The ideal size of an image. We're not talking about the physical size. We're actually not talking about the weight or the compression size of the image. Needs to be between 120 and 150 kilobytes. Now, Dave, I added an extra note on there, and this is a question for you, which are watching this. Do you know the sizes of the image which you need to add, the actual dimension sizes for your category to trigger the zoom feature in your categories? Do you know the sizes? If you do know your sizes, do us a favor in the live chat, go and type the sizes which you need to upload with your eBay listing to trigger the Zoom feature? Okay, so Dave, you keep an eye on the chat. That's a serious question, because, and by the way, if you're watching the recorded version of this, because this is being produced live, is that you can put it down in the comments section underneath this video. Of course, if you are watching the recorded version, you can go and cheat, because you can quickly go across to eBay and then go and look in their help files and find out what the size of the image is. And by the way, I'm not going to tell you, Dave's not going to tell you. What size image do you need to upload to your listings to trigger the Zoom piece? Okay, so when I am on eBay on the phone or on the pad looking for an item and I hit Zoom, okay, it maxes out on the screen, or I'm here on the desktop. What size image do you need to upload to trigger that full Zoom? Because not all eBay listings will trigger that Zoom. And that's a serious question, because if you can't type that one back, or, and by the way, the only viable excuse which you may have is that your listing is done by one of your team and you gave them the specs ages ago and they've just been following it. Okay, so that's a serious question. What size does it? And again, not only you need to be between 120 or 150 kilobytes per image. Remember, a dozen images load into a page, that's quite a lot. So you're talking about a megabyte per page on top of images, on top of the actual page being loaded itself and all its assets. Okay, but also what image dimensions do you need to trigger the Zoom feature? Okay, because Zoom feature is free.
Mm-hmm. So we've actually had a couple of answers come in. Mike has thrown his hands up in the air and said, "I haven't got a clue," which is, love the honesty, Mike. That's all well and good. And now you've got something where you can action. Be like, right, I need to figure that out. Nick has thrown 2000 by 2000 pixels in there. And then he's followed up with, I think it's actually more like 1500, but I just like big images. So they're the guesses that we've had so far in the live chat.
Yeah, and that's ace. Okay, there's nothing. It's not like a trick question like that. It's just a straightforward. Do you know? We do not know. Look, me and Dave, we don't sell on eBay ourselves. Okay, the odd item might go on. Okay, you sell professionally on a marketplace. You need to know it backwards. So quickly nip across to eBay, type in eBay image size for Zoom feature, find out what the image size is.
I could tell you, but it would ruin the fun.
Yeah. Go and do that one. So Dave, what's the next one we got?
Next up, we are talking item specifics. Now, this is one that I know me and Matt over the years have spoken about until we're blue in the face about the importance of item specifics. And again, when we do product research, that's the one thing which comes up time and time again. People are doing 1 or 2, 3, maybe 4 item specifics. Realistically, you should be aiming for 15, 16 item specifics on your listings. And yes, once again, the reason why a lot of sellers don't do this is mainly laziness, because it's, just quickly throw it, get it online, we'll sell it as quickly as we can. That's not the best thing to do. I was actually, again, I was at Catalyst Channel Advisor Catalyst conference on last Wednesday, and I bumped into a chap there who worked for a software company, does stuff with eBay, and we got chatting, and he was telling me about one of the tools that he was working on with eBay, and he said, we actually highlighted to a seller on one listing 2 item specifics that they had missed. They put those 2 item specifics live, revised the listing, and within a week had seen a 20% increase in sales on that one listing. The only thing they'd done is put 2 item specifics in place. That's the potential of, talk about not having your items seen through item specifics. That highlights it right there. 2 item specifics had a 20% increase within a week in sales on one listing. Now, can you imagine if you could do that across your entire product range? Imagine what effect that would have if you could add 4 or 5 item specifics. It really does make a difference. So again, don't be lazy with item specifics. The more the merrier, up until the maximum amount that you can have.
Which is 15, by the way.
Which is 15, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it used to be 20, I think, and then I think they knocked it down years ago, a while ago.
Anyway, let's just put this into context. Remember, I literally just like no more than 5 minutes ago, I mentioned that there is no like silver bullet, okay, of getting, if you do this one thing or you know this one bit of knowledge, then everything becomes easy. That's not the way it works. Me and Dave are very much realists, and I'm sure you are too. And because of that, you know that it's not just Dave's using an example there, a really good example that you changed add 2 item specifics and somebody saw a 20% increase. The thing is that if you cumulatively get all these things ticked off, okay, not only just for like one eBay listing, but for all your listings, that's where the net effect is. That's where the big win is doing a lot to a lot, and that gets you the effect, okay? And we are very aware that it's not a very straightforward process. It's going to take time, effort, and energy to do that. But again, you're a serious seller on eBay. You're a professional business owner, and you know that it is going to take a while to happen. So, yeah, great example. 2 item specifics makes a big difference. Again, the research which you may have done on a listing a year ago was probably great, but maybe you've got busy things and that listing's then dropped down the rankings. Maybe it's time you go back and revise it. Maybe go back and do the same kind of research which you did a year ago, because the eBay has changed over a period of time. That happens. There may be more item specifics which you can add. So you can add 15 of them. Now, this actually leads us really, really nicely into the eBay catalog. So at the time of recording, which is in May 2018, eBay is in a great state of change at the moment, with the eBay catalog only being gently rolled out at the moment, and it's going to become more prolific and more Amazon-fied over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. And that kind of really highlights the point that the eBay catalog, while it's very young right now, is a perfect time for you to jump on board if it's available. Okay, so make sure you've got your the posh name is GTINs, but make sure you've got your EANs, your barcodes, or your JANs, or your identifiers and part numbers, all the information which eBay wants in your listings, as well as an absolute bare minimum. But coming back, eBay catalog, if you suspect that some of your products may be in the eBay catalog, go and do the research. Either do it yourself or pass it on to one of your team and get that research done, because then you've got your skin in the game before it has like been enforced by eBay. Does that make sense, Dave?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool beans. What's the next one we got, Dave?
Next up, it's features and benefits. It's features and benefits. And again, it's something which me and Matt spoke about so many times before. And it's utilizing the features and benefits in an easy to read format. And we have to look to Amazon for this. You know, you think about Amazon above the fold, the first thing that you see, title, image, bang, bullet points, as well as the review star rating. But those little 5 bullet points, which give you a fantastic overview of the product, not only features of what the product has, but how it's going to benefit you. How is it going to make your life better, your life easier? How's it going to solve a problem? And by taking that same approach to your eBay listing, it allows you to very quickly qualify a buyer in or out before wasting their time. And the sooner you can qualify a buyer in, and if they're interested, then they're likely going to click the buy now button straight away. If you've piqued their interest, then they're going to scroll down and check out the description. You've got another chance to sell them there. But by nailing the features and benefits with the bullet points as soon as possible in an easy to read format, that is one of the best ways to promote your eBay listings. Yeah. Keep it short, keep it sharp, break it down.
Okay, so again, I think I'm going to play in this role quite well at the moment, going off on a slight tangent, but the difference between a feature and a benefit is actually very straightforward. So logically, I've got a phone in front of me, which is a Dodge one. Don't ever buy one; they are terrible. But that's a whole different. I bought it for the kids, and mine's gone back to get repaired. Anyway, so what we will say that this phone is 10 by 15 centimeters. Okay, so that's a feature. This phone also runs Android. Okay, so Android, whatever, we'll say KitKat, for example. So those are 2 features. The phone is 10 by 15 and it runs Android KitKat version, whatever. Okay, those are features. Now, that's nice, in inverted commas, but that's not a benefit. That doesn't benefit the person which is reading the description or doesn't understand how that's going to help them. Okay, so the difference is very simple, is that it's pocket sized with a size of, and again, you can string these together. You can put a benefit with a feature. You can say it will fit into the average size jean pocket. It's not a huge, great big tablet sized phone. Okay. Then, of course, with Android as well, one of the key benefits of, runs on the Android system so that you are easily able to back up all your information easily, and it's probably automated as well. Obviously, you would spend some more time on that one, but that's I think I'm mullering this one, but I'm trying to make the point. A feature is something very factual about the item. A benefit is focused upon the customers and how they're going to use it and how it's going to impact them, or how it's going to help you, as the case may be. If you want a very, very good example, I love mentioning this one. If you go and look up bananagrams on eBay, that little that little tile game with the little banana sack, go and have a look at the bullet points on there. They are brilliant because there's a really nice mix between factual or features and benefits on how the game can be used quickly and things like that. Okay, Dave, what's the next one? We were talking about features and benefits, weren't we?
Yeah, we're on feature benefits. So next up.
Cool beans. And again, we're trying to keep this fast-paced as possible, right? And we've only got a couple more to go, so that's happy days. Keep your product descriptions concise so it's easy to read, especially on mobile. It's also a good idea to include a video in your eBay listings to give customers the ability to see the product in action. Now, if there's one thing which I could really like right now, pointing at eBay and say this is not very good, and actually inversely with the same hand and pointing at Amazon and say it's not very good, is that I feel that both marketplaces really do let themselves down when it comes to video, okay? Because video is one of those formats which you're enjoying right now. You're watching me and you're chatting with Dave and there's a conversation going on. We were talking about a product here just a few moments ago. You're able to put it into perspective. You're able to get the extra like depth or the insight into the product so that your customer can then make an informed decision, whether that really make an informed decision on whether that item's the right one for them or not. Okay, so actually this is a double poke at both at eBay and Amazon because neither of them do it particularly well. You can't, right now, you can't put video in the gallery section on eBay. You can put it in the on the Amazon listing, but it's very, very restricted on file size and length and things like that. So neither marketplace does it particularly well. However, on the flip side of that conversation, eBay does allow you to embed them into the eBay listings, or at least lets you link out to them. And yeah, if you've got them available, do include links to videos, especially if it's videos which you've created for your own YouTube channel. Do put them in there. And getting back to the first point about descriptions, bullet points work really well. We've just mentioned those. We heard the difference between features and benefits. The customer's only ever going to read the full-blown description if they are really interested in the product. So if someone's gone past the bullet points and have started to read the description, then keep it concise, be aware of a customer's time, like I'm very aware of your time right now, and keep it as concise as possible. But also, hasten to add, focus on how the customer is going to use the product. If you're selling a dress, okay, mention words like this dress will be fantastic in the summer, going out clubbing, or for a special event. Okay, help the customer envisage how they're going to use the product. I've literally, as Dave was talking a few moments ago, I bought those exhaust type tips for the car here in the background, and the reason why I bought them is because it was a terrible listing, but they kind of got one thing right, which was the modern sport design, which is that I wanted those tips because it brings the model up to date. It's the difference between the older body shape and the newer body shape is that very minor detail is the exhaust isn't round, it's oblong and fitted into the rear bumper, which could have been much better done in the listing which I bought just a few moments ago. Anyway, Dave, next one, 10, right, categorization.
That's it, and this one's super simple. It's make sure that your product is in the right category, the one that makes the most sense for your buyers, and if possible, or if not possible, if you feel like it, utilize that second category. It is an add-on to the listing, but it has the potential to bring potential buyers from the outskirts of your specific category and capture some of those to your product as well. Or ultimately, if you might have two separate categories in two different arches, which actually sell the same sort of products. It does happen out there with a few different product ranges, a few different catalogs. But be aware, you can actually go onto eBay, see the category tree structure in the back pages, and see, is this the best category for my product? If not, change it. And if it is, and you're feeling frivolous, maybe it's time to do some speculation, add in a second category, see if that makes a difference to your listings.
And again, I want to add context to this as well. Remember, context is for kings. That was actually the name of an episode in the recent Star Trek series. And I only really just kind of got it when, if any of you have watched the latest Star Trek, is that you know what I'm talking about. Context was king for the captain, because I'm not spoiling it for you. Those of you which know what I'm talking about, it all got made sense in the last couple of episodes. Context is king, okay? So to add context for you, you get customers who, like we spoke right back at the beginning, they do the search, and that's why the keywords in your title are also very, very important. And then images are also really, really important too. However, some customers, not all of them, okay, but some will also just browse. Okay, they'll just browse the category. They're interested. I'm interested in a BMW X5. That's what I own. Okay, so I'm interested in other parts. Okay, so I'm in a specific category, and I'll browse for all the other parts as well. Okay, and that's the thing. Adding a second category can scoop you up additional views and potential buyers into your eBay listing by having a second category. Now, there is a caveat to this, which is that in a recent eBay update, is that what they've said is that you may have one listing fee in one category and one listing fee in a different category, and they could be different. Okay, and what eBay are now saying is that whichever one's the most expensive or the highest fee, you're going to pay that if you've got an item listed in two categories. And also, context is that you may be paying, chances are you'll be paying extra for adding the second category. However, it's the small things which make the differences. Is that chances are your product, should I say, chances are it could be listed in another category on eBay. And do you know what that category might be for your, say, top 10 products? Okay. When was the last time you checked to see if you could get one of your top 10 products into another category on eBay to catch that little scoop or that little line? And again, I am using a little line because it's the old 80-20 rule. 80% of people are just doing search, filter, and then buy. Okay, but the other 20% on the side, those are the ones which are searching. They're just browsing around, and that's how they can discover your products in odd categories on eBay, or obviously related, but not directly related to what you may have thought in the first place. And I hope that makes sense. Right, Dave, is that in the next one?
Yes. Yeah, we're on to number 11.
Number 11. Now, this one's a really good one. I'll put it into context in a moment for you. So, list the products at a low price to hit your first 10 sales fast. Let's absorb that a moment. I'll read it again. List a product at a low price to hit your first 10 sales fast. Think about that for a few moments. What would that trigger within the eBay ecosystem? Okay, would that flag that this item might be of interest? Okay. Once that item has hit that number, you can, of course, increase the price to the original or desired selling price. Customers are after items that are popular and selling. And I think that's absolutely that last piece. Customers are after items that are popular and selling. My real life example, just 2 minutes ago, I bought one item on eBay over exactly the same product from a different seller because the one item had sold 39 times and the other listing had sold 0. Same price, same shipping time, probably thinking about it, same company. Could have been the same company in the background. I didn't check the address details, but like for item, slightly different titles, same images, and I bought it off the one which was 39 items sold compared to the one which had 0. Okay. Also think about this from eBay search perspective. Okay. Do they want to promote a listing which doesn't sell and it's very much unproven, or do they want to promote an item which they know is going to sell? As we heard at the beginning of this, when we were chatting about that stuff which is going on in Israel, we now know for 100% sure that eBay can control the visibility of a listing at a granular level. And that must be kept in the back of your mind, because they have literally, what I've read yesterday, 1.1 billion listings, and they're able to pick one out and promote it up and down based upon some automated rules. Okay, so getting your first 10 listings in there as fast as you can does make a difference. And I know a couple of businesses who do that to great effect. And they've written rules in their software so they'll get notified when things like that happen. And they'll be adding new products. And of course, once they've got the first 10 sales in, then they'll bump the price up to their desired selling price. And then that's how they get their listings to continue through. It's a very simple process, and it's also a very effective process, because it basically goes, hi eBay, this item's selling really well, promote.
And that is a great thing, because Mike in the chat has put a question in. I was going to come to that at the end, but Mike, I hope you really listen to that bit, because that's going to be crucial to the answer, I think, for what your problem is. And again, just to sort of go a little bit off topic, it's still on topic, is that if, say, hypothetically, we were to know what a key fundamental of the best match algorithm was, allegedly it would be something along the lines of impressions, page views, and then affirmative actions, whether that be watch or buy. If an item has, the algorithm is making a lot of sense, such as they have a lot of buys per views per impressions, that's a very relevant product and is therefore going to be higher up the search. If the product is showing up in a lot of search results, it's getting a lot of page views, but isn't getting a lot of buys, there's something wrong with that product in eBay's eyes, and it starts to go down.
Exactly, because Dave, and again, context here, they have the ability to look at the other items of similar items within a category and then make that decision. This one is doing quite well. This one's not doing very well at all. Might want to just let that one just go away. And this one's doing great, so let's bring this one up. It makes complete sense. It's exactly what you would do in their position. You would promote the ones which are selling, because obviously you're going to make more money over them. And of course, you'll still chuck a few odd ones in the list as well to see if they are going to chime in and actually convert to sales, because they may be the new ones which are going to come through in the very near future. Does that make sense, Dave?
Absolutely, absolutely. So next up, we're on to point number 12. And again, we've touched on this already. We've done dedicated tutorials to this as to how important this is, and its product variations. We hinted at it earlier. Its colors, its sizes. Wherever you can utilize variations on a product listing, you should be utilizing product variations on your listing, for the simple reason that, again, we've got, I'm trying to think of a thing. So we've got 12 glasses. We've got a martini glass and we've got a wine glass. Every time the martini glass sells, the wine glass also goes up the search results, because it's part of the same listing. Every one sale is bringing all the other variants up with it and increasing the likelihood of them selling. And it's that cumulative effect. More sales going up, more bringing the other items up with it. It's dynamite. That's what we've always said. Product variations are dynamite on eBay. And if you're not utilizing them when you could be, don't force them. Like, if it doesn't work, don't force them. But especially in apparel, in clothing, in car parts, definitely utilize product variations where possible.
Variations, they rule.
Yeah, there's not much more to add to that. We've said pretty much everything we can on that subject.
Absolutely, you need to be doing them wherever possible. And the last one, actually, is just a very practical point, is that nobody likes reading scary terms and conditions. And to be honest, it's very easy for you to try and to summarize what your delivery options are and what your returns policy is into a single paragraph. Okay. If you can, well, it just needs to be simple. Nobody wants to scroll down an eBay list. Let me have a look here on the right hand side. Nobody wants to scroll down and see, and well, this one's really straightforward. It's great. Returns policy, 30 days on there, but buyer pays return postage, and returns accepted. Really straightforward, which is general stuff which you need for selling on eBay specifically. There's a set of rules to do with distance seller regulations here in the United Kingdom. But there's no point sticking it on a 30-page paragraph at the bottom of a bloody eBay listing, which nobody's going to read anyway. So just keep it in plain English. We do our best here at UnderstandingE, to keep everything in plain English so that it kind of makes sense on face value. There's no load. There are times and places where you need to, in a contract, for example, where everything needs to be documented, roles and responsibilities, who needs to do what. But for general stuff, especially when there's many laws already in place and things in place to do this, is just say, well, we accept returns within 30 days and contact us if you get stuck or have an issue. Keep it so straightforward as that. Postage, check eBay for the latest prices on the top of the listing. Just keep stuff really, really simple. Simplify your customer's life because they just don't have time or the inkling to read through a 30-page document. And on that note, I'm going to stop that one there because I think you've kind of got the point already. Right.
There we
Dave,
go.
I'm going to quickly just run down these very quickly. There was 13 of them. We did squeeze a few extra bits in there as we went. Number one, we added that at the beginning because we felt that was absolutely key. If you're going to be promoting your eBay listings off eBay, okay, we don't think you should be doing that. You probably know that you shouldn't be doing that. Don't spend any money on promoting your business on eBay off eBay, okay? It doesn't make sense. Target customers to your website instead. That makes much better business sense long term. Number two was, best way to promote your eBay listing is for a good title and a high quality product image to go with it. Remember, the context for that is that a customer does a search for what they're looking for. So that's the title, number one important thing. Number two, the second most important thing is images, as in the plural, because remember, if you've got a variation listing, you need different images for the variations, color. Look up the dresses example, which you mentioned about. Use keywords in your title that show up for your product as well. Do your own research. There's plenty of keyword research tools out there. Number four, upload photos to your listings, because remember, eBay allows you a dozen free images. Use every single one of them, okay? And just upload them. The ideal size of the image should be 120 to 150 kilobytes big, okay? But then we asked you that question, what is the size to hit super size, or that zoom feature option for your category, okay? Because that gives you a hint that it might be different based upon the category which you're listing in. If you don't know what the dimensions of the image needs to be, use that as a little poke in the right direction to go and have a look on eBay just to see if it hasn't changed, or if you are uploading images of the right size or greater, as the case may be. We also said add as many item specifics as possible. Absolutely, you get a chance to put 15, I believe, item specifics on the vast majority of items on eBay. If you're not using all 15 item specifics, you are literally just throwing money away. Okay, you've thrown it away. So fill them in. And again, also inversely on that note, we mentioned that eBay is a big time of change for them right now. We have the catalog being implemented now or over the next, say, 18 months. If your product is a standardized product, see if it's in the eBay catalog already. Number 8 was features and benefits. We mentioned the difference between a feature, which say a size, for example, or a specific about a phone, okay, is very different to a benefit. A benefit is how it's going to benefit the customer when they go to use or whatever they're going to do with the product. Put yourselves in the shoes of a customer and then word your benefits around that, okay? What else do we have? Keep your product description concise and easy to read, again, especially on mobile, okay? Because they are diddly little screens, to say the least. And you can pinch and zoom and stuff, but it is very annoying. And again, a customer who's pinching and zooming has got to be really interested in the product, which is, unfortunately, there's a lot of competition out there. So you need to do everything possible to help your customers' life be as easy as possible. Number 10 was get your products in the right category and double up. Definitely double up. Okay. See where else your product could fit in the eBay category structure. Chances are you can double up the category. Now, there was a caveat to that. You may get charged higher fees, but do your own research. You can find that out yourself on there. And again, that's just scraping up that 20% of buyers or potential buyers who are browsing rather than searching for products. So it gains you an extra bit of an audience already within the marketplace where you're selling. Got to be happy days. Number 11, we mentioned that little tactic about get your first 10 items sold. Okay, it does make a difference. That I know several businesses who do this with every single item which they get into stock. The first 10 items which are sold either at profit, or in one case is below, they lose money on. Okay, but they actually look at the long term here, which is that then that listing will then go on to succeed. Do what you need to do to get those first 10 listings sold on your eBay listing. Of course, then that little flags up to eBay with their best match, the Cassini search engine, to point out that this item has got legs, it's got potential to it. Number 12, we spoke about variations. Do variations. Can't mention that enough. If you want something which is going to bias your listings or bias your business in favor, variation and multi-variation listings are just the biggest no-brainer going. We've spoken about those many times before. You need to be doing wherever possible variations. We cannot be more precise on that topic. And the last one is simplify your policies. Okay, keep stuff into one-liners. Okay, nobody's going to read that 30-page document about your returns policy. They're just going to go, what the, and bail out or go somewhere else. Okay, that's not what you want. So Dave, have we missed anything, and have we missed any questions which have been going on with the live version?
So no, we've not missed anything from the main chat today. That is basically our tips on how to promote your eBay listings effectively. Now, over to the live chat, as I mentioned a few moments ago, Mike has asked a question, and it was, any tips on products that are just not selling on eBay? Is it worth taking them down to relist, or just improve title, images, item specifics, price? And for a little more information there, let me just scroll down. We have some products that have not sold on eBay now for over a year, so we need to do something with them. And there's one that Mike shared there, which is 505 days since it was last sold.
Okay, so let's face it, 505 days, that's just a complete waste of time. If it was if this was Amazon, they would be complaining to you to take their items out of their warehouse and charging you a fortune for the storage of it. Okay, so let's put that into that perspective. The other thing is that ultimately it's your decision on those items. If you've got an item which has, I'd say, 500 sales on it or 50 sales on it, and has done well in the past for whatever reason, okay, I would be hesitant on ending the listing which has got like that 50 symbol on there. There was that, remember that listing which I mentioned a few moments ago, had 39 sales on it. If I was that seller and that one was maybe not performing as well as what it done before, I would have reservations about ending that listing and starting afresh. However, if it's been 505 days since you've had a last sell, no, just cut it and get a new one up. Okay?
Yeah, I think that sounds to me that at some point that listing has fallen foul of the algorithm, and it's just got that far down the rank now, it's not going to come back. The numbers are not in its favor. So a few people, I think Nick, Jay, both been making suggestions in the comments. Really appreciate that, guys. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a case of end the listing, cut it dead. So unless you've got something crazy like 500 sold, just end it. And like I said, I know Nick sent some suggestions over on the title. Make some changes to the listing. Does it need better images? Does it need a better title with some more keywords, more item specifics? And like we said at that other point earlier, I think it was point 9 or 10, list it at cost price for the first 10 sales and get good on that algorithm ranking. Give that boost, get high up the search ranks, and then increase the price to the level where it should be at. And a combination of those things should see that product selling once again.
Yeah. So I think there's no right way or there's no wrong way with this one. You're just going to need your interpretation here. Do you know what? The biggest thing is actually that you know that it was 505 days. Okay, knowing is everything. So actually, I'm going to open this question up to, and you obviously don't have to answer right now. Do you know of any other listings of your listings which are on eBay right now which have not sold in the last year? Okay, and that if you don't know which ones those listings are, go and find out what they are so that you can put yourself in the same boat, which is Mike is, which is actually, you may be thinking, well, Jesus, he's got a listing which is like 505 days and he's not sold anything. But actually, Mike's one up on potentially you because he knows that item hasn't sold in a year or whatever, and he can do something about it. Not knowing is ignorance. Knowing is bliss. Again, which items of yours have not sold in the past 12 months? Again, that's a serious question. Go and take some action after sitting here and listening to me and Dave chat for 52 minutes. Action is everything. If you can go off, you can put some of these pieces into your process right now in what your business. We've specifically asked you questions as well. Go and find out the answers to them so that you can go and take action, because ultimately me and Dave need you to be a success. Okay, so always keep that in the back of your mind. That's why we ask sometimes awkward questions like that.
We've had the second question as well. And before I say this, anyone watching this right now, we've got any questions, please add them into the chat. And whilst you're down there, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And Mike has said, is there any way to combine existing listings into a variation listing?
Not that I know of.
It never used to be able to do that. You had to create a variation listing from scratch at the time of listing creation. So if you've got a red dress and a blue dress, you can, and that's got 5 sales and that's got 10 sales, you can't combine them and go, right, 15 sales on this red and blue dress. You're going to have to end the listings and create a new listing, which then begs the question, do you do it if the listings are performing well individually? The argument they would perform better in a variation. But then, as we said before, do you take the risk on losing sales history? It's a tough one. The best way to do it is just from the start. Anything that is eligible for a variation listing, list it as a variation listing.
Yeah, okay. And by the way, Dave mentioned you had like a pink dress and a blue dress. Okay. Is that we are, and as you are, I'm sure, very much interested in the long-term gain from what you're doing. Okay, so in the short term, it would hurt. Let's be honest, it would hurt if you ended those 2 listings. But if you did end those 2 listings and put them into a new listing, and of course adding in other products at the same time, is that would be the right way to doing it long term. Okay, it would hurt in the meantime, but in the long term, it would be beneficial. And remember, we need to go careful of eBay's duplicate listing policy as well. That's always a caveat, so you can't have those 2 listings already showing up and this multi-variation listing, because eBay is not daft. They will know that it's the same products being listed in a separate multi-variation listing, and you've been split it out. Okay, there's duplicate listing warnings policy. There was a big hoo-ha a year or 2 ago on it, wasn't it, Dave, when they really did crack down on duplicates. So yeah, just if you're in it for the long term, sometimes it makes decisions an awful lot easier to make, because you know that it's going to hurt today, but tomorrow it will be better. Okay, so I hope that again, I've mentioned context is for kings today. I hope we've done a dozen or so points, but we've done our best to add context into them as well, so it kind of like makes sense to you and your business as well. Dave, are we good to wrap up, sir?
I believe so. I just checked. There's no new questions come in. So in which case, your next time to nail us down and ask us these questions is this time next week. However, in the meantime, if something does pop up that you need an answer to, the Understanding forums are always open, as is the Understanding Facebook page for Understanding members. Links to both are in the description down below. Just click show more and the links are magically there for you. Next week, we are talking about
appearing bigger than you are.
I love that one. I love that subject.
I was doing that one, and normally I try and catch Dave out on
Yeah, you would.
in the background. One of my favorite topics, this one, and I think it's going to be the third time around for this topic specifically. So I remember writing the original article like 8 years ago, and it still works today. So if you want
a 2018 spin on it.
yeah, exactly. We'll bring it up more up to date, and it really is appearing bigger than you are to maybe gain customers or suppliers or for other reasons to help you and your business. So with that said, from myself, Matt,
and from me, Dave,
big thank you to you for taking the time to join us for this live mastermind. Remember, this was recorded live. We always leave like the live stuff because we get to leave the mistake and the fun in. If you would like some more structured material, so for example, learning how to hire an inexpensive team into your business in the outsourcing course, for example, we do have a selection of courses over on the UnderstandingE.com website. Go and take a look, and we've got a collection of free courses so that you can come and meet myself and Dave in a more structured environment as well. So
also, as a heads up as well, if you go to understandinge.com/mastermind, you will see, I think, 10 scheduled webinars for taking us into July. So you can see what we'll be talking about each week now, well into July. That went live this morning. So yeah, you guys keep up to date and come and join in the fun every Tuesday, fully prepared for what we're going to talk about.
Indeed, I've just noticed we got the power of the Facebook tracking pixel, and I've got some updates on that one as well because I've been retargeted left, right, and I can't wait to discuss that one with you. But that is not until the 5th of June. Anyway, it's time for us to go. Thank you very much for taking the time for joining us here live, and we shall see you next Tuesday. Cheerios.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.